after all, lastly, we have Mr. Sanjay, who will be our weekly presentation, who will do our weekly presentation today. So he will be giving the details about his business, which is into strategic financing for imports and exports. So this is over to you, Mr. Sanjay. You can continue now.
Hi, good evening, everyone. What a beautiful day it is today. And I'm your steelman turned finance man, turned handyman in the world of finance and steel. I'll just run through a very brief presentation of my company, and then I will move on to the main slide of innovation in trade finance. It's not innovation. In the other parts of the world, it's been done very commonly. It's nothing new. I'm sharing my screen. I hope you all can see my screen. Tarushi, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it, Sanjay.
Great. So this is Rajlaks International. We have been doing procurement solutions mainly in related construction steel since 1995. So Rajlaks International is a service-oriented company. We have been always into services. We didn't do much of trading. Although we are doing some trading in the form of LED lighting, household appliances. But apart from that, we have been mainly a service-related organization based on procurement solutions. We have established a good reputation within the Sri Lankan market as trustworthy supplier of industrial hardware for local traders and contractors, including blue chip companies and MNCs. We recently did a project for Ansel, in which even Mahesh had supplied his CCTV cameras and PABX solutions as well. In 2020, during the height of the start of the corona, we decided to offer innovative trade finance solutions for importers and exporters. Our uniqueness lies in our ability to create a strong relationship with both importers, exporters, and financial institutions. Further, we also proactively negotiate prices on behalf of clients, thereby saving costs and foreign exchange for the country. We have two directors. My father, K.S. Motwani, he's got a procurement background for the last 35 years. And myself, initially I worked for this company, again doing procurement solutions, and then I went overseas and I got a lot of experience on banking and finance. The projects that we have supplied to are very exceptional. Orient City, Glass Access Tower 2, Grand Hyatt Colombo. We have supplied them pipes, which we know has the hotel had stopped construction, but the pipes are still usable, and they're not ordering it again from us. They're getting new set of pipes to balance of the hotel. Ozo Hotels, Kandy, Colombo, Airport Garden, Bandar Naika International Airport, National Water Supply Board, Colombo City Center, WPC Headquarters, Cinnamon Grand, Park in Colombo, Defense Headquarters, Radisson Blue. You would notice there are a lot of projects over here which are approved by CECB. So any project that is being done by CECB, which is a government-owned consultancy bureau, they know our products and our pipes and fittings very well. Our various pipes and fittings are ERW galvanized pipes, spiral bended pipes, hollow sections, seamless pipes, ductile iron pipes, welded and seamless stainless steel pipes. We have the fittings for all these pipes, as well as a GI wire, GI cable, copper tubes, and coils. We have trade financing solutions where we offer export factoring, which is like export financing without recourse, import and export LC discounting, and corporate finance. Our main clientele are importers, stockists, manufacturers, MEP contractors, project owners, contracting, and construction companies. This is our location, and we are a 100% Sri Lankan owned company. Now I'll go on to the presentation for trade finance, for which I bet most of you are keen on listening to. Again, we'll start with export factoring, which is an innovative working capital investment solution. It's an investment because it's not a loan. It's a working capital investment. When it comes to export finance, there are various ways. There's LC, letter of credit, cash against documents, open account trade credit, export factoring is what we're going to talk about, trade finance house, cash in advance, invoice trading platforms, supply chain finance, bank loans, and your own resources and capital. A lot of exporters at the moment are using their own resources and capital, letter of credit, because banks are really not funding them for the exports. They could really grow given the opportunity of export financing. Now, what is export factoring and how does it work? You can see the chart on the side, and you can see I'm just outlined how it works. The buyer, which is the importer, issues a PO and the exporter invoices the buyer. Then the exporter goes to the bank and avails a pre-shipment loan, or he uses his own funding to purchase the goods, the raw materials. Then the exporter ships the goods to the buyer, which is the importer. Once they ship the goods to the buyer, they will give the invoice as well as all the copy documents to the factor, and the factor will give 85% of this invoice within 2 days. Will advance up to 85% of these invoices within 2 days. The exporter settles the pre-shipment loan. That's upon like at 60 days, 75 days, whichever agreed tenor it is with the exporter and the importer. And on maturity of invoice, the buyer, which is the importer, pays directly to the factor, and the factor remits the reserve 15% to the supplier or the exporter, to the supplier or the exporter minus the factoring charges. Sectors where factoring is used: manufacturers, importers, exporters, branded companies. Importers in the way where reverse factoring is possible. Branded companies, wholesale distributors, traders. Industries, main industries are apparel and textile. In Sri Lanka, apparel and textile does a lot of factoring. Food and beverage, gaming and media, industrial and mechanical, electronics and goods. So gaming and media, even IT companies can get their invoices factored. So that 36% of countries are considered high risk for trade. Unfortunately, these are the countries where we can't do factoring. But I'm trying to study, and there are options available for such factoring, but it will not be factoring, it will be receivable financing. So upon default, the exporter will have to return the financed amount. 56 days is the average that buyers take to pay their invoice. 82% of SMEs fail due to poor cash flow management. You know, the buyer hasn't paid them, and they're just using their money, and the pre-shipment loan of the bank gets due, and then they get stuck, and then they go into overdues, and once they go into overdues, then nobody gives them any facility. The payment terms for export factoring are all various: open account, DA, DPs, cash against document, LCs, as well as TT. Areas served are mainly developed countries such as North America, Europe, China, GCC, mainly GCC, United Arab Emirates. Again, types of clients are the ones that are growing very fast and banks cannot keep up with them. So for most fast growth companies, bank financing will not only be limited but also limiting. Factoring and trade finance provides ongoing support with no ceiling or cap. Buying and selling internationally. Most factoring and financing companies and even banks may not be willing to offer financing on international sale. Factor can replace or supplement your existing financing arrangements. So here the exporter can tell the bank, okay, I will use only 10 million of my facilities, all for pre-shipment finance, and the balance he can get it factored by the factor, financed by the factor. Financially